So yesterday I played a fast four singles tournament and I won one match and I lost two. And the interesting thing though wasn't really the result, it was that I knew exactly what I wanted to do, what I needed to do in these matches, but I was unable to execute that, even though I was giving myself the command to do it. And that is what the knowing doing gap is in real life. So the performance wasn't really where I wanted it to be, but the key here isn't really in the result, it's in the lesson that we can take from the experience. And I'm trying to become a Masters 1000 competitor, a tennis player who can compete at that level. And yesterday was a grade 5 local tournament and it was a terrible result. And there's a world of difference between that level and the level that I'm aspiring to compete at. But I'm building an identity and I'm building a game that's going to move me towards that. But there's a gap there between the skill set and the tactical and the strategical execution that I'm working towards and my current level of expertise. And that's the gap between where we are and where we want to be, and that's the gap that we have to close. So the identity that I'm building is becoming more of a master style tennis player, more efficient style of tennis where we use geometry and angles and spins and disruptive tactics over your typical ATP style tennis where it's big forehands, big backhands, driving through the baseline, lots of topspin. I want to move away from that game and become a bit more efficient in both shot mechanics and also energy expenditure as I move forward to make it a more viable style of play as I move forward. So the problem is that I knew what I wanted to do and I wanted to commit to the ball. I wanted to move to the bounce. I wanted to actually, when I say commit to the ball, to actually strike the ball properly. And the problem that I find that keeps reoccurring for me in tennis matches under pressure is that I start to push the ball. And when I do that, I don't get any spin and it becomes very easy for my opponent to start to push me around then. And this is what happened yesterday. And I knew that it was happening. I could feel it, but I was unable to do anything about it. Wasn't fully committed. I wasn't hitting through the ball. I was just guiding it. And I kept telling myself and I kept telling myself. And when I came off the court, I knew that I'd done it and I was frustrated. But I was unable to close that gap yesterday. So, why does this happen? Why was it happening to me? And the answer to that is because under pressure, we don't rise to what we know. We fall upon the habits that we have deeply ingrained. And building a new identity is about building a new habit set and practicing those habits and ingraining them into our strategy and into our technique until they become automatic. And yesterday for me was a great example where I kept telling myself, play to your new identity, play to the game that you're building here. And on occasion, I did manage to. On the odd point, I was able to execute, and that felt really good. And the result was productive. But for 19 out of 20 shots in every match, I was just falling back on old habit patterns and routines. And I think that the realization, what I'm starting to realize is that my goal in competition can't just be winning. It has to be expressing this new identity that I'm building and being willing to experience temporary setbacks and ambiguity and losses in order to allow these new habits and this new identity to establish itself. And yesterday I didn't do that, and the scoreboard reflected, very poor performance. But the positives for me taking away from that are that during the match, I was aware of what I was doing. I could see that there was a problem there. I wasn't just fighting against the current, wondering why I'm losing and what's happening is happening. So, although the result wasn't what I wanted, the matches did give me clarity. And for me, the challenge isn't learning more now. It's challenging this behavior that's deeply ingrained and reprogramming it to become a new tennis player. And that's the gap that I'm working to close. And we're going to go forward and we're going to play more tournaments. The idea now is that I'm going to play more local tournaments in between these ITF events to get match play experience, which is something that I'm desperately lacking. So my job right now is not to win with the old identity. What my job is to build the new identity that will eventually win.